And training.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathering on the traditional territory of the Lekwungen-speaking people, members of the Esquimalt and Songhees First Nations, Simgiget, Sigidamanak, Gubit-Wiltsuk. I'd like to acknowledge the matriarchs, the leaders in these chambers. I'd like to thank the member opposite and all the members who have spoken to this budget, Budget 2019, a budget that makes life better, Honourable Speaker. When I stand in these chambers, I never forget where I came from, Honourable Speaker. I never forget the fact that I was raised in the projects by a single mother, as an Indigenous East Side kid who went to Van Tech, who knew a thing or two about going without. I'm a proud mother. I'm proud to be Niska. I'm honored to have the opportunity to stand in these chambers to be an advocate on behalf of Vancouver Mount Pleasant and Indigenous people across this province. So when I think about this budget making people's lives better, I think about what $50 means to people, Honourable Speaker. When you have nothing, $50 can go a long way. But before I continue, I want to acknowledge something, because this budget is about values. And my values are, I didn't get here alone, Honourable Speaker. I want to thank my mom, who is my constituent. I want to thank my grandparents for their resilience and strength as Indigenous people, who taught me to work hard, fight hard, and to never forget who I am. And I am the member for Vancouver Mount Pleasant, a diverse riding that has faced challenges, Honourable Speaker. I have a constituency office at First and Commercial, the Drive. People love the Drive because it represents our eclectic diversity. I want to acknowledge my staff who open the doors every day, Carvin and Amy, Kevin, the volunteers that help out in my office. I want to thank my ministry staff who help me every day, Cindy, Michael, Mike, Nagin. I'm surrounded by people that are paddling with me, Honourable Speaker, because I am not here alone. I am here with the expectation that I'm going to make a difference in people's lives. And I take that duty and honor very seriously. So again, I'm standing here with the values of gratitude. It is my privilege to stand in here not only as the MLA, but as the Minister for Advanced Education, Skills and Training. Before I continue, I want to talk about what I think the themes are of this budget, Honourable Speaker. The theme is the policies, the announcement is about making good public policy. I've listened to the members opposite shrill about, the fishnets and how we're overspending, we're bloated, and we're going back to the 90s. I have a different version of this budget, Honourable Speaker. Barack Obama wrote a book called The Audacity of Hope. And I stand in these chambers with hope that if you make decisions with people in mind, that people's lives will get better, Honourable Speaker. And so, I have a different version of truth in the way I see this budget and how it impacts people in Vancouver Mount Pleasant. I'm thinking about the childcare centres, thinking of the Woodwards building. I used to go to the Woodwards building, Honourable Speaker, when I was a young kid, when there was dollar days. I'm thinking about the poverty reduction strategy that we were committed to doing because it's going to benefit people. I'm thinking about that $50, that extra $50 to my constituents and people across British Columbia. Small amount can go a long way. And again, I will never forget where I came from. Foster parents. Before I got into politics, I was an advocate for children. Why? Because I wanted the rights of children in care to be upheld. In this budget, we extended a policy to ensure that extended family members, can get the same rates as foster parents. That is good public policy, Honourable Speaker. It was a recommendation from Grand Chief Ed John. We acted quickly because it was the right thing to do, Honourable Speaker. When I think about leveling the playing field and increasing benefits for foster parents, I'm not the only one who thinks that's a good idea. Even the members opposite agree that leveling the playing field is good public policy. When I think about this budget in education and seismic upgrades to Lord Strathcona with a $25 million investment, when I think about the 380 homes that are now in Mount Pleasant, when I think about my constituents who had to sleep on the streets, who have faced homelessness, and let's not forget what brings people there. Let's never forget that people don't wake up homeless. But those 380 beds are making a difference for people in Mount Pleasant. I'm thinking about the $400 million investment through the BC Child Opportunity Benefit for kids going all the way up to 18. I'm going to pause for a minute. It won't be clawed back, Honourable Speaker. We're making decisions to lift people up. This budget is about lift as recline. It's balanced. We have a AAA rating, but it's all about people, Honourable Speaker. Because if you create good opportunities, you get good outcomes. If you invest in people. And the audacity for the members opposite to act like if you invest in people, there will be consequences. The fear that goes along with investing in people. Well, there's a consequence if you fail to invest in people. If you continue to leave them behind. And when it comes time to kids, I will always stand on their side. I'm the mother of 2 children. I want to say hi to my young, beautiful daughters, Maya and Michaela, and my husband, Cassidy. I wouldn't be here without you. And thank you for your sacrifice so I can stand in these chambers and be a voice for Vancouver Mount Pleasant and the Minister for Advanced Education, Skills and Training, because I signed up for this job, Honourable Speaker, to make a difference. And I want to thank the Minister of Finance. She's a Métis woman, she's an Indigenous woman, she stood in these chambers with the NDP government. It's balanced, it's about people, it's a game changer, it's going to make people's lives better, Honourable Speaker. Sorry. On another note about Vancouver Mount Pleasant, there's going to be more access to justice, Honourable Speaker, through pilot programs that are going to level the playing field. There's going to be a $76 million investment in mental health. There's going to be retrofits, $902 million to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. But, Honourable Speaker, there isn't enough time in these chambers to talk about all of the amazing things that are happening through Budget 2019. But I want to highlight 4 things as the Minister for Advanced Education, Skills and Training. 1, tuition-free adult basic education. Free tuition for adult basic education is going to continue, Honourable Speaker. There are no cuts. We're not going back to the decisions that were made in 2013. We are going to continue investing in people. We are going to continue investing in tech seats, 2,900 tech seats, Honourable Speaker, the biggest lift in a decade. I know we don't want to talk about the last 16 years, but let's talk about the last 10. Student housing, $500 million in student housing. We've invested almost 1,200 beds in the last 19 months, and we've got more to come, Honourable Speaker. But the highlight of this budget for me, and all the thank you letters that came from students, it's even benefiting Keith Baldry, our legislative reporter for Global, made the front page of newspapers, and guess what it is, Honourable Speaker? We eliminated interest on BC student loans. That is good public policy, Honourable Speaker. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about how we are making life better for British Columbians. Hawa.